Hi folks, we are Sophie and Philippe, two professional chefs and regenerative farmers. Currently we're setting up our second regenerative farm in Central Portugal, where we grow food for our local community and share our knowledge both on the land and in the kitchen. On this channel we take you along on the farm's development and we show you how we grow, cook and preserve nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, delicious food. In a time where the food we're eating is literally killing us, the most powerful and impactful action one could take is to consume nutrient-dense, regeneratively grown, clean food. Let's grow it, let's cook it, let's do it. It's been a rainy week here in Central Portugal, with the exception of a wonderfully sunny weekend. I decided to take this opportunity and harvest a lot of the greens we have growing in the garden right now and share some of the ways we prepare these in our household. Leafy greens seem to be one of those vegetables that people tend to have problems with in their kitchens. Chard and beet leaves take the cake, as many don't like their earthy flavors. I hope this video will help those who need some inspiration to get these greens into their daily diet. It goes without saying that leafy greens are full of goodness, mostly vitamins and antioxidants, but because vegetables don't have fat in them, or at least not a lot, and leafy greens are notoriously high in fiber and often contain polyphenols that have a slight bitterness to them, they aren't as popular as, let's say, some eggs or a fried steak. Let's change that. So I've got these beautiful broccoli leaves. This is from the broccoli plant, and they don't actually sell these in the supermarket. So these are great for people that are growing their own food, because this is a part of the plant that not a lot of people know they can eat. Next up, I've got this beautiful Russian kale. So this has a purple nerve running through the leaf, and it's just a very beautiful plant. I really like to eat it, and I like to watch it or look at it. And I like to look at it because I just think it's so beautiful. Here we have a really nice but already feasted on Chinese cabbage. So this one is of course not one you would probably pick if you're in a supermarket, but sometimes when you're growing this happens, and then you still need to make sure that this gets used and is enjoyed on a plate, because there is no reason for you not to eat something that some bugs already ate. You just really gotta clean it well, and then I'm gonna prepare it and I'm gonna show you how I sort of sneak this ugly veg in there as well. And some more eaten chard. So this is the Swiss chard. This is the red variety. We've got rainbow chard growing, so we've got them in all colors. I chose this one because it's also beautifully vibrant and delicious, but as you can see, the leaves are also damaged. So this is going to be another one of these veggies that I'm going to show you how to prepare, so that your kids will eat it, your grand will eat it, you will eat it, and no one has to know except you that there was some insect damage done already. Let's start with the first veggie dish and wash our chard really well. Make sure to remove any pieces of dirt with your hands and wash them with vigor in water. This might be necessary to do twice. Then move them into a colander with something at the bottom to catch the water dripping out. Et voila, fresh and clean. Now it's time to separate the stalks from the leaves. I do this by cutting along the main nerve of the leaf on both sides and keep the leaves separate. These will be used in our next dish, so don't throw these away. Chop off the end bits of the stem to get a nice clean cut at the bottom, and then pull out some of the tougher fibers on the stem. Slice the stems into noodles no longer than 15 centimeters and about 2 millimeters thick. This is 6 inches long and 1/16 of an inch thick. Don't worry too much if they aren't completely evenly sliced, but try to keep them as uniform as possible. Once they are all done, sprinkle on a little salt and then 1 teaspoon of curry powder. Finally, cover with chickpea flour and toss around until they are covered evenly. In a frying pan, add a decent amount of sunflower oil and heat that up until it reaches 190 degrees Celsius. It's important to fry them on the right temperature. Oil that is too cold will make them very greasy. Once they are all fried and draining on the side, move on to making the sauce. In a little bowl, add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of agave syrup and 1 grated garlic clove. Mix well and distribute over the noodles. Gently toss that around and voila, ready to serve. These are great as a side dish to a nice roast or can also be served on a vegetarian meze with things like hummus, cold bean salads or veggie kebabs. Next up, moving on to some seriously delicious savory pastries we are making with our chard leaves, but little note, you could use any of the leaves we used in this video for this recipe. Start by mixing the sauce we will use for the filling and also for the final glaze. This is 5 tablespoons of sour cream, 1 tablespoon of agave syrup, some salt and 1 tablespoon of sambal. Mix well and set aside. Then roughly chop up your clean leaves, 4 cloves of garlic, and slice 1 onion into half moons. Now in a very hot wok and some olive oil, introduce the garlic and onion. After a few minutes of that sautéing away, add 1 teaspoon of caraway seeds. Toast these for even more aroma and then quickly add the leaves. Sauté these until they are just cooked through and give them a little sprinkle of salt. Remove from the stove and set aside to let them cool down back to room temperature. Now melt 3 tablespoons of butter on low heat for the phyllo pastry. Grate 200 grams of cheddar or another melty cheese like young Gouda or stiff mozzarella. PS, Gouda in Dutch is pronounced Gouda. Then it's time to assemble the pastries. We are using some store-bought phyllo sheets. Sorry, I didn't have time to make those from scratch today. We will fold over 1/4 of the sheet, butter that and then start layering on our chard leaves, our cheese and finally our sauce evenly along the bottom part of the folded sheet. Then we butter the rest of the sheet generously and start rolling it into a long, thin sausage-like roll. This roll will then be folded back into itself, making this wonderful looking circular pastry, which we pop straight onto the metal baking sheet. I arrange them with their ends facing one another to make sure that they don't unroll during baking. Once they are all rolled into these cute little pastries, I brush them with the excess butter both on top as well as on the outsides. The butter will make sure the phyllo becomes nice and crispy and yummy, so don't skip this step. Then add 1 egg to the remaining sauce we have previously made and mix it very well. This will serve as the glaze. Distribute this generously on top of the pastries, then bake in a preheated oven on 200 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes or until very golden brown. Take them out and serve them while they are still warm. You could of course leave out the spicy and add in more cheese or something like minced meat, cooked potatoes or peas if you wanted to serve these to kids. This next veggie dish is a way to really honor leafy greens. It's simple, it's very flavorful, and the best result comes from applying the technique right. When you flash fry dark greens in a hot wok, you get the best outcome. Some coloring takes place on the leaves, a mild sweetness comes out, and that paired with garlic really is a golden combination. You could add other Asian condiments here, but if you want to keep it very healthy, you only need olive oil, chopped up garlic, and a bit of salt. After removing the stems from your broccoli and Russian kale leaves, you start by making your crisp garlic topping. This is simply done by frying your minced garlic in about 100 milliliters of olive oil until they are blonde golden. Once the sizzle reduces and they appear nice and blonde, drain them from the olive oil and be sure to set that oil aside as we'll need it later. Leave the garlic to dry out on a paper towel. Chop up your stems into fine slivers and flash fry those first in a hot wok with half of the remaining garlic oil. After about 4 minutes, add in the broccoli leaves first. These are the tougher leaves. If you do not have broccoli leaves, you could use normal kale here. 2 minutes and a bit of tossing later, add in the softer Russian kale leaves and saute until everything is cooked through but still vibrant green. Now move the whole into your serving bowl and sprinkle with your beautiful garlic oil and crispy garlic bites. Serve as a side dish to any meat or add in some feta cheese, crisp apple, some dried fruits, vinegar and fresh herbs and you have yourself a meal salad. Delicious! Last up is our Chinese cabbage in tahini with some tomato flakes. This cabbage was not looking so sexy anymore, so after washing them thoroughly, I separated the worst looking leaves from the main nerve. Looking back, I could have added these ugly leaves to my pastries, but I did not remember that in time. After prepping the leaves, put on some water to boil and start making the sauce. In a small wide-mouthed jar, add 2 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of our tomato flakes or paprika powder and some dried oregano, olive oil, a piece of lemon flesh, 2 big tablespoons of sesame paste and some water. Now add water and start blending. Add the water gradually until you reach the desired consistency, which should be like a runny pancake batter, and salt to taste. Once the water is boiling, blanch the leaves for about 4 to 5 minutes. Don't keep them in longer than 5 minutes, as the cabbage will start releasing its sulfur compounds in the form of hydrogen sulfide gas, which will give you that unpleasant cabbage smell. Ugh, no one likes that. Place them onto a platter and sprinkle them with tomato flakes and your sauce. Mix the whole gently and place onto a serving platter. Then sprinkle it with some more of your flakes and our last dish is also ready to serve. As always, you can find the full recipes up on our website, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our upcoming cooking courses. More dates for 2025 will be up soon. If you subscribe to our newsletter, you will also receive our early bird discount codes, so definitely check that out. I'll leave the link below. Thank you for watching. See you next week. The Farming Chefs, peace out.